Most of us take it for granted, but not this woman.
My name is Chido, and I come from Zimbabwe.
By the age of 8, Chido Govera was an orphan, forced to look after her 5-year-old brother and nearly 100-year-old grandmother. She was abused, beaten, and nearly became a child bride. Now, she's a farming activist, travelling the world helping people out of poverty, and the key, the thing that changed her life, surprisingly, was mushrooms.
I'm sharing a story that's very personal to me.
When you were very young, you were told that you were a girl without a future. Why did people call you that?
I didn't go to school because I was living in the village and my life was revolving around going up the hill to fetch water or down the hill to find water in that homestead, or things like going to fetch firewood and working in people's gardens. That I had to tend to look after my little brother, who was around 5 years old.
I remember the look on the face of my little brother when he was hungry. And I also remember that pain that comes with hunger.
It is one of those things that still causes you pain even long after the person feels much better, as long as that image is in your head. He was hungry, he was sick, he was very, very fragile, and the days when I went to bed, when I thought when I wake up he's dead.
I lost my mother to AIDS when I was 7 years old, and I lost my chance to be a child.
So I really took up the responsibility of a mother, a father, a sister, a grandchild, everything at that age.
Were you angry at suddenly this responsibility all falling to you?
I was very angry at my mom for dying because, you know, as a child, actually when she started falling sick, she would go away for long periods of time in search of medication, and I had to move from one relative to another, and that drove me crazy. It is where the uncles were not nice to me, it is where I got my feet smashed, it is where all these things were happening, and I didn't even cry when she died, for example.
Was there a moment when you realised that she wasn't going to get better?
It was 3 days before she died because I could not bear to see her anymore with that face that didn't have any life. And so one of the things that I sort of took upon myself was that if she gave up on me, I am not going to give up on my brother. So actually part of the reason why I really worked so hard to raise my own brother was in a way to prove to her that I can do this and I am faithful. It was, imagine that you are a kid, you start suffering before your mama even dies, and then she dies, and then suddenly you realize I am really on my own.
At the age of 11, something wonderful happened. I got an invitation to learn to farm mushrooms. And this was an invitation by what is called the Zeri Foundation.
I went. I remember I was barefoot, my clothes in a plastic bag, and for the first time, I could grow my own mushrooms and cook them and have a plate full of mushroom all to myself. You take a lot of waste material, soak it in water, mix it with the mushroom seed. You don't have to dig forever anymore. When I had enough money left that I could pay school fees for other kids, and I said, this is going to change my life, and I want to use it to change other people's lives. And I set out to teach as many people as possible to grow mushrooms, sell them, and earn income. In this community where everybody puts food on the table by digging in the garden or working in the field, and suddenly there's a bunch of girls who are growing food indoors.
The 15 of us became the most popular people in the village for the first time.
It just went like wildfire.
The other unexpected side effect was that the other girls all ended up going and getting married. How does that work?
Again, I mean, food creates opportunities.
Yep, that's right. Okay,
I mean, I completely understand that you don't get this.
no, I don't.
But imagine growing up in a community where your highest achievement is getting married.
Before the mushrooms, a very dear sister had come to me and say, I have a friend and he's 36, 37, I was 11, and he's been looking for someone to marry. And I was really in a state where I could almost take anything. that I said no.
You get to a point in your life and everybody tells you, oh, you have to get a man so you can be respected. And I'm thinking, seriously? One time it was to get food on my table, and now it's to get respect. Why can I not just earn the respect that I deserve because I do what I do, because I am a human being?
The family members that you were left with, they did some awful things.
My uncles and their friends from the community where I grew up, they set out to explore their sexual fantasies with a little girl who had no idea what was going on, regardless of the fact that I had lost my mother to AIDS.
Can you ever forgive them?
Oh, I did. I wouldn't be so happy if I didn't forgive them. I had to.
How?
Because if I hold on to it, it hurts me, not them. And when I go to the village now, they're running, Chido, Chido, and I even want to give you a hug. They don't even remember that at one point when they touched you, they hurt you. And they want to give you a hug, and you're thinking, if I keep holding on to anger over that person, what is that yielding me? Nothing. My name Chido means passion, it means love, and it almost feels like in the Bible, you get a name and that's what you become. The name defines who you become. In everyday food consumption, it looks like there's not much thought. If you judge by the amount of food which is thrown away. If I can convert waste into mushrooms, I can surely take the same example and use it to turn my life around. For me, it was something very symbolic, looking at where my life was at that point. Waste is not waste until it's wasted.